Yeah, it's the SFS for Life podcast. This is the real part of the podcast, not the wrestling part, the real part, where I just talk shit for the rest of the day. Well, I didn't get much fucking sleep last night in the fucking roadworks outside, if you can hear them, because they're doing all the fucking pipes on the ground, you see. They're doing all the pipes. You see, because I don't fucking know why. You see, I live on a council estate street, but opposite a terraced house kind of thing. So, underneath the roads and that, they're doing the pipes! And the whole roads are covered in roadworks. Like, everything is like, I might seem a bit off today because I haven't had much sleep. But, you know what I'm saying? There's fucking ditches fucking everywhere, fucking holes, 12 feet holes in the ground. I'm telling you this right now. If I was a serial killer, I'm telling you, this would be my playground. If I was a Ted Bundy or a Dennis Nielsen, this would be perfect if I wanted to get rid of the bodies. Because all I would do is, because they're finished anyway, they're finishing up doing the roadworks anyway, so obviously you throw the remains of the body down the fucking hole, the ditch where they're doing the roadworks, just like a day or even 2 days before they finish up. And then they finished up the fucking pavement. So who the fuck is going to find the body? How do you know I haven't done it already? Not really. I am joking. Anyway, I've got to say for this portion of the podcast, and probably most of the podcast actually, I'm going to be talking about, things that might put people off. So if you're sensitive, you don't like talking about drugs and, other shit like that, I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm just saying, I would highly advise you not to listen to it, because you know how it is these days. Everyone, not everyone, but, there's a culture out there that gets very offended by anything. I don't get it when it's just entertainment, but that's how it is. So if you're one of them people, then this podcast is not for fucking you. So I would kindly tell you to fuck off. Not really, just please, show me some consideration and yourself by just turning it off. If you don't like something, then you switch it off. Okay? Yeah, so fucking hell. Right, I'll start the podcast. You've been warned, you motherfucker. Right, I'll start the podcast like this. You see? So I don't know if you can hear the roadworks outside or anything. And I don't know what I am going to fucking say. But I think I'm gonna talk a bit about drugs. And what drugs I think are harmful and which are not. And which are harmful, but it's like a double-edged sword type of thing. Like cannabis is the perfect double-edged sword to me. Because one person can fucking get up, smoke a fucking fat joint of a big blunt or skunk or whatever, high in THC and basically function the whole day. It doesn't seem to affect him. Other people can get up and smoke a joint and do fuck all. Just sit there on the fat, lazy, fat asses because they're fatties and play on fucking video games all day. Or some people even, get a bit anxious and paranoid. It's happened to me. I'm not saying, it's happened to me quite a lot of times on weed. Man, I used to be a proper fucking weed addict. I mean, it kind of messed my life up. But I've learned now that since I've been free from drug addiction, Hershey's licking my hand because she's getting excited. Probably because sorry for shouting her. I just can't help it sometimes. But what I was going to say was, 10 years ago, I was a fucking addict, right? I was on the brink of death. I'm not fucking trying to be like, oh, I feel sorry for me. Oh, I've been through all this shit. I'm just telling you facts. I was a fucking addict. Like one of them fucking, you know, them crazy motherfuckers you see in Manchester. Not as, you know, not like today where where it's cracky gardens and all that shit around Manchester, you know. I never, you know, I was homeless, but I never slept on the street. I couldn't do it. I could not beg. I'm not saying if it happened to me now at this age, I probably wouldn't have the energy to do what I did like back then. What I'm saying is I never begged on the street. I went out and robbed, basically. I'll fuck it. I didn't give a fuck. Basically, I'd smash windows, take shit. I'd walk in the shop and just take shit. You know, I never did anything. You know, like I had a mate of mine, right? Oh, here we go. There's the roadworks. If you can hear him, fucking got the forklift fucking going on there. Anyway, yeah, I had a mate who was on the smack and shit. He's fucking god, I don't know what he's doing now, but he's on the smack and crack. He did speedballs and shit like that. But to make a long story short, you know, he was into burgling and fucking mugging people, and I've never done that. You know, I've never gone to them type of crimes. You know, go up to someone and say, "Give me your fucking money," or you know, it's always been like, "Oh, just take things, and hopefully no one will catch me." Because the last thing I wanted is confrontation. But there was a part in my life where, when my grandma was dying and I was homeless and I was fucking drugged out my fucking head and an alcoholic, where you know, you look at me and I'll go fucking mad. But that was just an emotional reaction. Like I didn't have like, you know, devious thoughts. Like I didn't want to go out and, you know where you deviously plan stuff, premeditated robbery and shit like that. If you know what I mean. I never did anything like that. That's what I'm saying. So back to my mate. There's one night he's like, "Oh, come and burgle this house, mate. It's got fucking what is it? Fucking, I think PS4 just come out and he's got all these Bluetooth speakers and he's, you know, and Rolex. The guy's got Rolexes and shit like that in his room and all that." And I'm like, right. And like, I bet I tell you, man, if you're not up to it, it doesn't matter because the people are not even in the house. But still, man, I just never could do that. But I'd only steal from like, you know, like shops, like, you know, the big businesses, if you know what I mean, like the cooperative or Tesco. It's not right. I'm just saying, you know, or yeah, I would, you know, steal from shops and shit like that. Yeah, you know, I stole from my parents, you know, to get drugs. Yeah, I was a piece of shit. But what I'm saying is, basically, my mate one night, I'm not going to mention his name, but he was like, "Fuck it then. All you have to do is look out and I'll split half." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll look out. Whatever, fuck off." You know, I weren't really looking out. I just sat there on the bench smoking a spliff. And what's funny is he tried to get into the bathroom windows, like, "You stupid fucking cunt." Because the guy, my mate, was a fat fucking bastard anyway. I don't know how he was, because he was smoking crack all the time and taking smack. So I don't know how he was a fat bastard. But the moral of the story is, he came behind this house, yeah, and jumped on this fucking conservatory, you know what I mean? They had a little extension to the house, yeah. So he dropped on the fucking house, and then the bathroom window was small as fuck. I'm like, "How the fuck are you gonna get in there?" I'm like, "You fucking moron." And he went through the bathroom window, but only half of him went through. From the fucking arse down, he was stuck out. He was there all fucking night. He was yelling for me, screaming for me, "Please, please, help me, get out of here, help me." And I was like, "What do you want me to?" I'm like, "I don't know whether there's a camera on the street or something. I am not going to be a fucking, what is it? God, man, fucking, mine's you know, a witness to, not a witness, a fucking alibi or whatever you call it, you know, guilty by association to your robbery." So I was like, "I'm not fucking doing, no way, man. If you're, you know, I'm fucking already on probation, man. If I get fucking caught, I'm looking at, I might be going down for fucking 5 years or something, because that's what you get." So, no. So, road workers outside my fucking window, man. Does my fucking head in sometimes. Really does, man, you know. I wish I'd fucking hurry up with these road work. Anyway, he basically It was there, and it was on the paper the next day because I fucking left. I stood there for about 2 hours, like trying to get some help, but everyone was asleep. So I basically said, well, I have to fucking leave you. I mean, people think I'm a bit of a dick for doing that, but the guy was a dick. You know, he's a smackhead and crackhead, so what do you want to say? Like, it's not like I fucking snitched on him, alright? You know, I've never fucking snitched on anyone. So, yeah, it was in the paper the next morning. It was a Manchester Evening News. A guy, fucking, the owners came in and found a guy with his legs and ass out of the bathroom window, and his face and chest was stuck on the window ledge, trying to get into the window, into the bathroom, into this bathroom. And I knew it wasn't going to work. And I think he must have been off his fucking head. But yeah, it's like the second fucking story in the paper. It was like 10 years ago when I was on my drug shit. But anyway, yeah. But I've never, you know, I've been homeless, but I had a concessionary bus pass because of my disability. Like, people say I've got ADHD and I might have Asperger. You know, I don't understand the Asperger thing. Then that what Elon Musk has got or something, and he's the richest guy in the world. I'm not talking any politics anyway, so you know my feelings on Elon Musk do not matter. Recently they're not very positive, but it really doesn't matter about that. So yeah, I just got a concessionary pass and just slept on buses, or I'd rob and stay at hotels, or sometimes my family would stay when my grandma was alive. I used to dip zip-zock back from Manchester, Birmingham, fucking on the coach, man. And them coach rides were so fucking horrible, especially when I ran out of my drugs. And I'd sit on the coach and I'd just have fucking mad, mental thoughts, man. Just like procrastinating like fuck about what people did to me, what I was going to do to them, or what I did. Oh, it was horrible. They were horrible. I don't want to go into that shit. Anyway, well, you know, today, obviously, I can say, oh no, I wouldn't do, because I was in my late teens, early 20s, so had the energy. Kind of, that's why, probably. Or that, you know, I just, the worst thing ever though is to be on the fucking streets in the Manchester city centre begging. Like, I know some people fucking prefer it these days. There's certain people, and I see in Manchester sometimes, and they actually prefer being on the streets. I think that's the worst thing ever, because people are walking past you that are, you know, that are got, you know, I'm not saying they're happy or anything, but, you know, they seem happy compared to you. They're live, they got jobs, they got girlfriend, boyfriend, they're dressed up nice, they, you know, maybe have a smile on their face, they, you know, they've got a life, you know, they look healthy, you know, even old people look healthy if they keep healthy, you know, and you're just strung out, down and out on the streets, begging, why the whole world, why thousands or even million people pass you by each day. That is fucking horrible, man. I'd rather be in jail, you know, than that. I tried once to get in jail because I was up like 72 hours one night. I was down in London. I'll tell this story another time because it's a very long story. But my punk ass motherfucking millionaire dad who I still want to kill to this fucking day. And believe me, Jim Cornette, as much as you hate Vince Russo, I really fucking hate my dad. And, you know, I am really going to piss on his grave. You know, if I don't kill him before he dies, which I won't. So, please do nobody report me to the police because I ain't going to kill no one. 10 years ago, I was threatening him like a motherfucker. But I'm not going to get into my dad today, but, you know, basically I was down because, you know, he's a millionaire and I'm homeless. So I just wanted a little bit of help, and I wanted to get the whole fucking time I was on drugs and homeless. I didn't want that. I wanted to get clean the whole fucking time. It's just one of them things, innit? Is your mind sometimes just plays fucking tricks on you, and you know it's life. Life doesn't. How am I gonna say this? Life is totally opposite. Reality is totally opposite to the way you want to perceive it in your head. You know. You're not even in control of your own fucking thoughts. Like, let's get this real. I'm hardly in control of myself most of the time. So if you think you're going to be in control of what happens in the world and what other people do and how politics are, the weather, then you're in for a very miserable life where you're going to suffer. You need to find that kind of that Zen type, be in the present moment and be aware, don't take your thoughts seriously. Anyway, I'm veering off a bit, but yeah, there's one night I was up for 3 days in London, and I'm telling you, I ain't going to sleep nowhere, right? Because I was walking around areas like Southall and Brixton. Sometimes, what dangerous area. Brixton's like the Bronx of Britain, right? So police, I fucking called the police, and I said that my dad, basically, because he fucked off. He went to Moscow, right? Because he's an architect, right? And seriously, he's a millionaire. Check it out, Damon Lavelle. Google it. I've only met him a couple of times, and he's the biggest prick ever. He's heartless. If you think Vince McMahon's heartless, my dad is very heartless. Seriously, I think he's a member of the Illuminati. But yeah, he fucked off to Moscow, right? Just as I was 10 minutes from his house, I was going to fuck him up that night because he said on the phone, fuck you and all that, and started talking shit about my mum because he used to beat up. Sorry, I don't want to go there, but yeah, and then I called the police saying I went to my dad, and my dad tried to run me over, and he's on the way to the airport, and he tried to run me over, which he didn't. But I was that fucking pissed off. I just wanted to get him. I wanted the police to get him so I could fuck him up in front of the police because I really didn't give a fuck. So what happened? Fucking road workers outside my fucking house digging ditches, man. Anyway, what happened was the police took me in for a statement, and then they started talking to my mum and all that, and then they knew that I was fucking full of shit and I had problems with drugs and all that fucking shit. So I was like, just keep me in the fucking cells for tonight, man, please. I am not going out because I am really fucking tired. I'm hungover, which I was. I fucking was drinking wine and stealing wine and champagne bottles from fucking I don't know what shops, any fucking shop that I could get my hands on a fucking bottle. But yeah, I was like, please, man, just let me in the fucking cells for half a fucking week, yeah? And basically, they just said no. And then I started confessing to the point that I was on bail because at the time, I didn't show up to court in Bristol. I had one case in Bristol, I had one case in Cornwall, and one case in Manchester, and one case in Birmingham at the same time. And I think this back in 2011. But yeah, I had 4 cases at the same time. I was like, listen, man, I haven't showed up to court, so there's a warrant out for my arrest anyway. But for some reason, they still won't keep me in the cell, so they let me go. So I said, fuck this, right? I think it was Tottenham Court Road or something. I picked up a big fucking rock and I went across the street and I think it was Marks and Spencer's or Debenhams. I just bashed the fucking rock right through the fucking window, right? And I was like, fucking arrest me! Like, fucking, here you go, here I am, arrest me! Because I was fucking tired, man, and I ain't sleeping on no street. And then the police just stood outside the fucking police station and they're just fucking laughing at me. So, I could have probably murdered someone that night, and they probably would have just let me fucking go. Anyway, yeah, fucking road workers outside my house at the moment. Probably hearing what I'm saying and shit. It's real life, though. What can you do? Anyway, that's a murder story. Anyway, but back to the drug part, What I'm saying is with weed and other things like that, it's like, some people can handle it, some people can't. Like I said, I was a proper addict, smoking weed every day, taking speed every day, sniffed coke on, when I could because it's very expensive. And I was definitely an alcoholic, a real alcoholic. So it's been like 10 plus years now. Yeah, 10 plus years I haven't touched a thing. Except from at the weekends, I'll microdose on mushrooms and I'll have a bit of weed. On the weekends, only at night time now. On the weekends, so I kind of got it under control. Like I go swimming every day. I go to mixed martial arts. I go to the gym. I'm writing my book, Mr. B. I've already written over 2,000 pages because it's a very long book. So most of my attention's going on this book, and hopefully it'll do something because I've really put my soul into this book. You know, I'm going. If no one reads it, just like this podcast, I could be the only one who listens to this podcast, and the only one who reads the book. But at least I can say to myself, at least I tried. You know, but yeah, it's like I can. Alcohol, no. I will never go near alcohol, and I'll never go near any speed or coke or anything like that. The reason why I microdose with mushrooms every week is because I think it helps me. I think it's better than, for me, this is what I mean. It's not for everyone. So it's like, for me, it works. Because mushrooms, I've never really had a bad experience on mushrooms. Never. It'll be like, what I've got to say is that 3 times a year, I'll take a heroic dose. 3 to 5 times a year, I'll take like, say, 25 grams of mushrooms. Well, I did like the other 2 weeks ago, I went to, with my dog Hershey and my girlfriend, we went to a cottage. It was like a really nice cottage, in Shropshire. And, bloody hell. Yeah, it was a pretty intense experience. But yeah, I've always liked mushrooms, But the thing is with mushrooms is I don't think you can ever get addicted. I just don't. Because after you've had it, especially heroic dose, you don't want more. And microdosing, some people do that every day. I don't. I just do it on weekends. And 3 grams is enough microdose for me. That I don't know what tolerance level people are at, but 3 grams kind of makes me not trip, but but puts me in a different state of consciousness. You know how the Buddha talks and stuff like that. If you've listened to like Eckhart Tolle and Thich Nhat Hanh and people like that and Alan Watts, the things that they point to, and you listen to them for ages and ages. You meditate for ages and ages, but you only understand it on like a conceptual level, if you know what I mean. With mushrooms, it kind of like takes you there to what they are saying. Of like being one with the universe, and you don't feel like you're constricted with, by your mind and your body. Like I do a lot of time. I feel like, constricted sometimes with my mind and my body. So, that blockage, that mental blockage kind of goes away. And with cannabis, it kind of, I let things go with cannabis. So it's like, if something in the world's bothering me, say like politics or something that happened in my personal life, if I smoke some weed, like, and it might not even be when I'm stoned, like 2 days after, like, I feel a sense of calm, and it definitely helps me with my sexual health. That's all I can say about that, because over the years, I'm, if you know what I mean, I'm find it hard to get very hard. And I don't want to take the fucking Viagra or shit like that. But weed kind of makes me into like a fucking horny as a motherfucker. The sex is a lot better than weed, for my honest. But that's for me, and I understand why people don't like it because it makes you paranoid. It can make you paranoid, and if you smoke it every day, you know how to say, the typical lazy stoner. You have no life, and I was like that. But I think if you do it at night time, especially if it's just on the weekend, I don't think it's harming me. If it does start harming me, then obviously I'm gonna put a stop to it. Definitely, because I'm not going down that fucking road ever again. That's a past lifetime to me. You know, the drugs and alcohol and all that shit is a past lifetime to me. What I think is it's medicine. And yeah, I do get high, but still, it's medicine. And I've got no evidence that mushrooms or cannabis damages the body. Like alcohol, which is one of the biggest fucking killers out there, in my opinion. You know, every time I drink, I get angry. You know, every time I drink, I take things personally. So I can't understand. I know everyone reacts differently, but I can't understand how people can drink to let the problems away. Because every time I've been around people that drink or are drunk, they're on a Friday night, right? And they go into a fucking pub and that. And they talk about the work week. I'm like, you've worked all week to chill on the weekends and let yourself go. And now you're complaining, bitching and moaning about your missus, your fucking work life. I'm like, what the fuck have you worked all week for? If you're just going to get pissed up and complain about it at weekends. I don't fucking get it. You know, so, like, and I'm not saying everyone's like that. But a lot of people are, and I was like that. So, you know, I just don't like drinking, you know, it turns me into a dick. And, you know, I don't understand why cannabis is not legal in this country. And it's because of that motherfucker, that neo fucking, that neo something, that Trump dick sucker, right? And that fucking, you know, listen, I hate both sides of the spectrum, so don't get it twisted. I hate the left and I hate the right. I hate wokeism, I hate capitalism. And that's all I'm going to say. But I'm just going to say once about this guy. If you support this fucking Neo guy, he conned everybody in Britain with Brexit. Because what happened since Brexit happened? He's going to say, oh, he's going to get rid of all the illegal immigrants. What's happened in this country with practically, I'm not going to go that far to say we've been invaded, but immigration is a serious fucking problem in this country. And not just because of what happened last year in Southport. That was an extreme case. I'm talking about everyday shit like NHS. We can't get a fucking appointment with the doctors for like a year. That never used to be back in the day. Ever. You never had to wait a year to get seen by a fucking doctor back 10 years ago. Ever. And there's people fucking homeless, and then they're letting, you know, these illegal immigrants, which ain't their fault, because it's the fucking government's fault. They're just thinking, oh, we get a free ride, so, you know what I mean? So it's the fucking politicians' fault that they're letting these fucking immigrants take things, and, you know, that's how I feel, you know. And this fucking Niall bastard who supports Brexit, he thinks, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of all the immigrants and all this, and I'm for you, British people. He's a fucking liar. The guy's a fascist. The guy's a fucking racist cunt, right? And what did he do when Brexit happened? More immigrants came in. So, listen, right? If the fucking woke shit, right? Or, you know, if wokeism is what has made this happen. Wokeism is giving birth to now the other spectrum, which is capitalism and fascism. The same fucking thing, just extremes on the both level. But what I'm saying is, that's how I feel. You know, and these cunts like Alex Jones and fucking these conspiracy theorists, they'll creep in. This is what they do when these politicians are fucking you, like the woke fucking left do. Then you'll get these extreme right people that come in and they'll start telling you, oh yeah, we're on your side before the people. I don't know about Tommy Robinson. I'm not speaking on him. Okay. I don't know. Okay. I'm just talking about this Neil cunt. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Is he's a fucking con man. And if anyone votes for him, you are a stupid fucking cunt. And that's all I've got to say. And I'm supposed to be the one that's got ADHD and fucking Asperger's. So how the fuck can I see what's going on? And these thick fucking cunts who vote for these twats can't. So who is the fucking retard, eh? Who is? You know what I mean? Like, you say, oh, I've got ADHD, oh, I've got Asperger's. But how do I see this shit? And a lot of people are so fucking dumb, they can't see this shit. Man, you get fucked. You know? Not, most people ain't. Most people are nice people who are not left or right. They're just in the middle. They just want to get on with their lives and get on with their own business. And that's what it is. Anyway, I think, the road workers outside my house, if you can hear the doors and shit, probably hearing me thinking, what the fuck is that crazy motherfucking cunt going on about? I don't give a shit. Well, I do. I just, So, I'm going to go off to swimming anyway. I've got a busy day ahead of me today. Well, kind of busy anyway. Yeah, I kind of went off then, man. I don't really like going into politics. Just when I think about them, it sets me off, man. Because it's just so, it's just I try and live my own life. What can I do? I'm not in control of anything. I can't tell you not to wave your fucking stupid Palestine flag about. It's like, it's disrespectful in my opinion. This is all I'm gonna say. I swear this is gonna be the last time. I just think it's so disrespectful. Like, yeah, you are getting bombed, yeah, but what the fuck has it got to do with us? Are we bombing you? Am I bombing your country? No. Palestine and Israel war has been going on for fucking decades. Why such a big deal about it now? It's just propaganda, mate. They're just doing it so people can pick sides. I ain't picking no sides. I think both sides are fucked up. Fucking Hamas is a fucking dirty fucking Islamic terrorist, so he can fucking die. I feel sorry for the innocent people in Palestine that are getting killed. And Israel, well, they're just fucking fucked up as well. Probably just as fucked up. They're terrorists themselves, really. So fuck both of them. You've got to put your own country first. Before you help anyone, you've got to help yourself. You've got to. And the people in this country that run this country are not for the people, mate. Seriously, they're not. And I don't like saying this because I just want to let it go now, if you know what I mean. Because I am the last person you want to talk about politics. Because you understand, if I had things my way, I would go up in a big fucking spaceship, fill the fucking fuel tank with a load of poisonous cannabis, and then I'd spray it out the exhaust pipe into the atmosphere, vaporize the atmosphere of the earth, and everyone would die. And I'll come back and clone myself and I'll make a world for myself. I'd have Beyonce and Jennifer Lopez, though, for, entertainment. That's how I'd run the world. I don't know what political view that is. Is that narcissistic, psychopathic individualism or something? I'm not sure about that one. Anyway, I'll try my best not to talk about, philosophy and politics, because enough people talk about that bullshit. And why I mentioned the spaceship and the poisonous cannabis is because it plays a big part in the plot of Mr. B. Someone called Julio Draxler, a psychotic, sick individual, happens to be a scouser. But yeah, he's a psychotic, sick individual, and he's the protagonist. And Mr. B is trying to stop him. And basically, he's murdered all of Mr. B's family. He murdered his mother called Che, when he was 2 years old. And the guy, his dad got Draxler to do it, and his dad happens to be called Damon. My real dad happens to call Damon. That's no coincidence. I just came up with that name. But anyway, yeah, he kills Mr. B's mum when he's 2 years old. So Mr. B grows up in a foster home and everything, and he grows up fucked up. Mr. B. I'm only gonna tell you a bit of the story because it's a very long book. But yeah, Mr. B grows up all fucked up, and Draxler's basically, it starts off with Draxler because he's 30 years older than Mr. B. So the book starts off with Draxler, how he grew up and how fucked up he is, and the traits of like a serial killer, like very similar to like how a serial killer grows up. Like he's a psychotic bastard. He's a gangster, like he makes money selling drugs, but he's got this psychotic, sick side to him. Very sick side. So he starts doing loads of shit, and he goes up the ranks, Draxler, and Mr. B finds himself at a very, very bad time in his life, similar to what I experienced. And basically, he kills his own dad. And before he kills his own dad, called Damon, he confesses that he got Draxler to kill his mum. So now Mr. B is on the lookout for Draxler. Well, that's skipping the story because there's so many layers to it. And Draxler nukes 5 cities, destroying half the cities on the way. Kills like 3 of Mr. B's wife, mistresses. Tries to kill his kids, you know. And Mr. B tries to get him a lot, but fails. You know, and towards the end, he goes up into space and tries to end the world. Whether he does or not is not for me to say. You gotta wait until the book comes out. And even then, you might not know. You never know. Could be a cliffhanger. Or Mr. B could die. Or Draxler could die. Or both could die. Or it could be a big, big fucking cliffhanger. Even though you've read like fucking 5,000 pages. Well, over 2,000 pages. So I don't know how long that would be. But it's a fiction book, right? What I like about fiction books is I do not like listening to fiction books. And Audible. If I'm listening to an audio book, it has to be non-fiction. Because you know what I mean? With fiction books, especially me, I don't know about anyone else. I need time to process, envision in my head, use my imagination, because to where they are, what they're doing, what the facial expressions are, you know what I mean? And if I'm listening to a fiction book, because they're not talking at your pace kind of thing. So you leave a lot of things out. Like right now, I'm going through the Jack Reacher series. I'm up to book 7. It's actually, book 7, the same Persuaded. It's the same book that the new season's been released on, because they just released season 3. I'm telling you, the fucking actor in that is perfect for Reacher, because that is what Jack Reacher is. He's a big 6'5" fucking meathead, and the actor Alan Richardson, yeah, he's perfect to play Jack Reacher. Perfect guy. And if you've seen it or the thing, the bodyguard in it, he's like the biggest guy in the world. He's not a wrestler or anything. He's just a big fucking meathead. Yeah, so I'm reading the Draxler books, and I think the final episode of the Reacher series is coming out next week. But I won't tell, because if you haven't watched. But yeah, I'm up to book 7. I think Lee Child's made about 27 books on Jack Reacher. Yeah, a lot of people compare Jack Reacher to Jack Ryan. And what I've got to say about that is I've only read one Jack. I'm going to get to the Jack Ryan series after the Jack Reacher series. That might be fucking forever. That might be 10 years down the line. I've only read the Patriot Games. I think the film Harrison Ford was in that one, yeah? Yeah. Well, that was a great book. But Jack Ryan is more of a strategic, can I say? And he goes around the world, and he's deep in with the CIA. He's an analyst. So obviously, if they were fighting strategically, you know, I think Jack Ryan would outsmart Jack Reacher. Even though Jack Reacher is very smart, because Jack Reacher will come up with these things and then leave it. So he'll say things very quickly, as if you've watched, and then he'll leave it. You know, he's a man of very few words, and that's what I like about Jack Reacher. He just says things, gets to the point, and then moves the fuck on. And, you know, I like Reacher's philosophy. You know, don't hold on to anything. Stay from place to place. That's kind of minimalism, yeah, but it's basically non-attachment, basically. Because attachments are what make you suffer. If you've listened, you know, if anyone's listened to any kind of self-help book or gone through any guided meditation, obviously you'll know that. And obviously through experience, which is the most. Because you can listen to all these books until your fucking heart's content, right? And if you only get it on an intellectual level, you don't really get it. You need to experience it. You know, that's all I've got to say about that. But yeah, Jack Reacher is clever, but Jack Ryan's very strategic, very you know, meticulous. If that is that the word, meticulous, very you know, cerebral in a way. You know, so he would outthink Reacher if they were across the world, and Jack Ryan had to assassinate Jack Reacher. I think Jack Ryan could, but if they were in a fucking bull ring, or, you know, like one of them gladiator arenas, big fucking coliseums, I mean, no. Jack Reacher would snap Jack Ryan like a pretzel, you know. It won't last long, it'll last probably 30 seconds. But that actor is great, who plays Reacher, Alan Richardson. And I'm surprised I haven't seen him in more films. I don't know what his films he's been in, but he's perfect for the Jack Reacher role. Yeah, they're great fiction books, you know. Obviously, Bond's my favourite, you know. Ian Fleming, James Bond books. You know, nothing's going to beat them. But it really is good, you know. And the point is, the guy's from, who writes it's from Britain. But he talks in America. He like knows all these like small little, you know, villages, what we call in this country. I don't know what they call it in America. You know, little villages and hamlets in America. Like you go, you know, like just everywhere, like Indianapolis, fucking Minnesota, fucking New York, Florida, you know, California, Arizona, Detroit, Chicago, everywhere in America. But it never comes to this country or any other, I don't think. Maybe it does in other books, I don't know. Anyway, I've got to go swimming. I hope if you're a sensitive person, you did not listen to this podcast, that you came to your senses and said, no, I am not going to listen to this fucking idiot. I'm going to get on with my day. I commend you for that. If you have, if you've listened, then great. Now, I have to go, so fuck off and die.